Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon was one of the most daring sequels of its year, turning a sandbox action series into a turn-based RPG in an era in which most other games would take the opposite route. Now Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is all you'd want from a more traditional sequel, because while Yakuza 7 didn't quite nail its first attempt at turn-based combat, Infinite Wealth irons out the majority of its shortcomings. Its predecessor would become quite repetitive once you figured out your preferred combat strategy. But here, a much bigger focus on positioning your characters to utilize your surroundings, party members, and attack range makes for a much more engaging battle system, with more diverse battle scenarios, which on top of that also incorporate the action of prior games in a wonderfully dynamic way, while providing a plethora of customization options, which are very much needed, because enemy tactics have also become more varied compared to Yakuza 7, where at some difficulty spikes all you could realistically do was to grind. Not anymore in Infinite Wealth, where the right strategy can overcome even more demanding or higher level enemies. Prior Yakuza games, despite technically not being full-fledged RPGs, still felt like role-playing sandboxes, even more so than other JRPGs because the map was open after each tutorial chapter, a fact that remained true for Infinite Wealth. Nothing can stop you from grinding out a job minigame to buy the best gear in the most expensive store early on, or tackling high-level enemies if you think you've got the right tactics, or the right battle item you might find in a dumpster somewhere. It's also your decision on how you want to build your character stats, be it by befriending people, or paying for training courses and being smart with your dialogue options. Infinite Wealth can be handholdy by telling you recommended levels for dungeons and marking side quests on the map without exploring. Yet it always remains open for you to go a different path or to find different solutions. And exploring the new maps, in particular Hawaii, does pay off, because it has enough interactions, new shops and treasure which you have to find yourself. The only exception being short visits to Japan, where the map and most of its interactions are already laid out, like a Ubisoft game, which is not very interesting from a gameplay perspective, even if the rewards, which are small nostalgic story bits, are kind of nice. Apart from that, you're also always free to go for the series' trademark side activities, like playing in the arcades or watching adult entertainments. And all of them will grow your builds one way or the other. With the new backdrop Hawaii, Infinite Wealth all around not only becomes one of the better urban RPGs, but also perhaps the best role-playing game with a vacation backdrop, because the systems and the scenario go hand in hand. Anyway, Like a Dragon did not just change the combat, but also the tone of the series in general. Before Infinite Wealth, the Yakuza gameplay loop consisted of a few core pillars: a brutal over-the-top battle system, watching melodramatic Yakuza soap opera play out, exploring urban Japan as a kind of virtual tourism, and solving comical side quests. And there was an ironic undertone when these elements sometimes wouldn't quite fit together on purpose. Now that the loudmouth Kasuga has become the center point of these games, they have become even more over the top, if not outright comedic, as Kasuga behaves more like a goofy character from battle manga series like One Piece, compared to series veteran Kiryu, while some of the comedy in prior side content came from the clash between weird sitcom-style setups and Kiryu's stoic attitude. With Kasuga, nothing's out of the ordinary anymore. Side content ranging from fighting sentient monster vacuum cleaners to recruiting confused hobos as your own Pokemon. Minigames not anymore just aiming for virtual city tourism in arcades and karaoke bars, but zany trips like Muscle Man safaris. Battles changed from ridiculously brutal to ridiculously insane, almost turning into a Japanese skit show, because within the story premise, Kasuga is playing his fights out in his head like a child. Yet, Kasuga, as a middle-aged guy losing his job and being harassed by entitled young punks, is still quite more endearing and more relatable than playing yet another high school prodigy or Dungeons and Dragons man. Arguably, the tonal balance of before has slightly tilted. In particular, some of the more serious gangster parts almost feel out of place now, and it's become a little harder to connect to some of the main story plot devices. On the other hand, this approach makes for a more unpredictable game, and considering that the industry has more than enough serious and overly dramatic games, it has become refreshing that a story-heavy open-world title doesn't shy away from outright signaling it's okay to be wacky and dumb because this is a video game.